Aloha everyone. So it's been over a month since I shared my last update about Maui's short-term rental ban. And since then, there have been a few developments that are worth keeping an eye on. In this video, we're going to cover those new updates, and I'm going to show you the easiest way to search for short-term rentals on Maui that would not be affected by the ban. But first, let's do a quick recap of what has happened so far. The legislation that aims to phase out more than 6,000 short-term rentals that have legally been operating on Maui for decades is called Bill 9. Bill 9 was first introduced by Maui's mayor in May of 2024, and it was officially passed by the Maui County Council and signed into law by the mayor a couple of months ago on December 15, 2025. And now that Bill 9 has passed, the county is now required to formally provide notice to property owners that would be affected by March 1st, 2026. The properties notified will be given 3 to 5 years to cease short-term rental operations depending on their location. Now, we already have a really solid understanding of which properties will be affected because of the Minatoia list. And if you've never heard of the term Minatoia list, it's a list of short-term rentals on Maui that were given an exemption allowing them to continue to be used as short-term rentals even though they're in apartment zoning, which does not explicitly allow short-term rentals. That list was created by Maui County more than 20 years ago and was codified into law in 2014. What Bill 9 does is it essentially revokes the exemption that was given by the Minatoia list. Now, since Bill 9 was signed into law in December, there's already been 2 lawsuits filed against Maui County by property owners in an attempt to overturn these new short-term rental rules. So the debate is still far from over. But even if Bill 9 does hold up in court, it's important for everyone to understand that only the properties on the Minatoia list would be affected. That means that about half of our current short-term rentals would continue to operate as normal no matter what happens. And there's a good chance that several properties on the Minatoia list could be upzoned to hotel zoning so that they can also continue to operate. We'll talk more about that possible upzoning a little bit later in the video. Now, I know all of this can be confusing for people that are interested in buying short-term rentals here on Maui. And that confusion is one of the factors that has definitely slowed down our overall condo market here. But it also creates an opportunity to land some incredible deals on the properties that would not be affected by this short-term rental ban. So I've actually redesigned my real estate website to help make this easier to understand. Let me show you what I created. So here's what I did. I built a brand new web page that only displays the condos on Maui that would not be affected by Bill 9. As you can see, I've listed all the condo complexes that are safe from the ban at the top of the page, sorted by location. Now, in past videos, I've talked just about the hotel zone properties being safe, but this list is more comprehensive with all the short-term rental properties that are not on the Minatoia list. So you could click on each of these communities and see all the current listings in that condo complex, but it's probably easier to start your search by looking at all the condo complexes that are not affected by Bill 9, and you can do this by scrolling down and entering your search criteria, like bedroom count or price range. And when you have that entered, you can also easily save that search so that you'll be notified by email whenever a new short-term rental property that is safe from the ban and fits your criteria is listed into the MLS. Go ahead and fill out your contact info, hit the Create Account button, and don't forget to give the search a title and adjust the email frequency depending on how often you want to be notified. I'll share a link to this page in the description so you can take a look when you're ready. Okay, so that one web page makes it easy to understand which properties will definitely not be affected by Bill 9's short-term rental ban. But as I mentioned before, there's actually a really good chance that there'll be a lot more properties added to this list in the future, because some of the Minatoia list properties might be upzoned to a newly created hotel zoning. You see, the county is now working through another piece of legislation that creates a new H3 and H4 zoning that would copy the current apartment zoning regulations, but also give them the ability to offer short-term rentals. And they've already created a list of properties that they think should be upzoned. That list was created by a few of the members of the Maui County Council and is commonly referred to as Exhibit 2. Now, this upzoning could be a long process, and it's definitely not guaranteed, which is why I have not added them to my list of safe short-term rentals yet. But we are already seeing some progress in the right direction. The Planning Commission has now scheduled a meeting to discuss the creation of the H3 and H4 zonings, and that meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, February 24th, which is just a few days away. So, the way I see it, we now have 4 distinct categories for condos on Maui with regard to their ability to offer short-term rentals now and into the future. First, we have the properties that I already showed you, which are the condos that currently allow short-term rentals and would not be affected by Bill 9. To make it easier to understand, I'm calling these the safe short-term rental list. Second, we have the properties that are on the Exhibit 2 list. These properties also currently allow short-term rentals, but they would be phased out by Bill 9 unless they are rezoned to hotel, which the county says it intends to do. The third category would be the remainder of the properties that are on the Minatoya list and not on the Exhibit 2 list. These are the properties that currently allow short-term rentals, but are the most likely to be phased out unless Bill 9 is overturned in the court system. And the fourth and final category would be the condos that already do not allow short-term rentals and will continue to not allow short-term rentals regardless of what happens with Bill 9. To make all of this a little easier to understand, I made another modification to my website on my condo pages that are organized by neighborhoods. At the top of these pages, I list all the condo complexes that have properties for sale in that neighborhood, but I organize them into the 4 different categories that we just discussed. So for example, when you go to the Kapalua Condos for Sale page, you'll see each condo complex is organized into their different categories at the top of the page. I've done the same thing for my Kanapali, Kihei, Wailean McKenna, and Lahaina condo pages. I'll share links to each of these neighborhood pages in the description as well. And I'll continue to update the website as things evolve for Bill 9 and Exhibit 2. I hope this explanation and the new website will be helpful. But if you have any questions about how the short-term rental ban would affect a property that you're interested in purchasing, feel free to reach out. And either myself or one of my very knowledgeable associates will help to answer all of your questions. You see, now really is a great time to be a buyer in this market, because we're already starting to see signs of rental income increasing over the past few months. So I think it's likely that the condo market for short-term rentals on Maui will start to recover sooner rather than later. Of course, I can't promise that we're at the bottom, but it certainly feels like we're close. I'm going to dive more into the details on the short-term rental income in future videos, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button if you found this information helpful, and share this video with anyone you know who would be affected by the new short-term rental rules. I hope to see you all in the next video. Aloha.